That does it for me. I think there's a little something to talk about in sports, Chris.
Yeah, golf.
Oh,
right,
exactly. Or bowling.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see if we got time for bowling, because golf, that's a big story.
Okay, okay.
Sticking in Phoenix, you also have the Super Bowl. We got final quarter coming up right now.
Fox 40's Final Quarter, powered by Ford, starts now.
Despite that tease, it's Super Bowl 57. What more needs to be said? Welcome to Final Quarter. I'm Chris Tavares. It's Kansas City and the Eagles in the desert in Glendale, Arizona. Let's start out with all the pregame festivities. Sacramento native Eric Armstead on hand, honored as a Walter Payton Man of the Year nominee. An all-female military flyover. And look at the emotion on Nick Sirianni's face. The Eagles head coach with tears streaming down. Just shows how big and emotional this game is. And this moment, pretty cool. Brothers Jason and Travis Kelce, captains for their respective teams, hugging after the coin toss. Eagles make easy work of the Kansas City defense to open up, scoring on the first drive of the game. Jalen Hurts punching it in for a 7-0 lead. Kansas City answers with a touchdown to tie it up. Patrick Mahomes to Kelce for an 18-yard score, and his brother celebrates or mourns it with a snack. Casey's going for the lead later in the first, but Harrison Butker doinks it off the upright, so we're still tied up at 7. And on the first play of the second quarter, Hurts comes up with a great throw, and A.J. Brown with an even better catch to go back on top, 14-7. And that's a 45-yard touchdown. But then disaster strikes for Philly. For the first time this postseason, they turn it over. Hurts inexplicably fumbles it, trying to change hands. Nick Bolton recovers it and houses it, and we are all tied up at 14. The Birds get back on track after that, though. A strong finish to the first half. Hurts with a 4-yard touchdown run to go up 21-14. Kansas City now trying to run a 2+ minute drill to tie things up before the break, but instead Mahomes scrambling around. He's got that bad ankle that we've been talking about all week, gets tackled from behind, and he is clearly in pain. So Kansas City has to punt it away, and with the clock winding down, Jake Elliott drills a 35-yard field goal for Philly to take a 10-point lead into the second half. Eagles are up 24-14, but it's a strong start to the third quarter for KC. They cap off a 10-yard, 5.5-minute drive with an Isaiah Pacheco touchdown, and it's 24-21. End of the third, Elliott with his second field goal of the day, this one from 33 yards, to make it 27-21. Now in the fourth quarter, same score. Mahomes hits Kadarius Toney for a 5-yard touchdown to grab a 1-point lead, and then a wide-open Sky Moore for a 4-yard score. Mahomes 21-27, passing 182 yards and 3 scores. Casey's up 8. But the Eagles won't go away. Hurts comes up with his third rushing touchdown of the game. They go for 2 to tie it up at 35-all. Kansas City gets the ball back with 5:15 left in the game. Mahomes, that ankle looks plenty fine there. He rips off a 26-yard run to get inside the red zone, and then a little controversy. Mahomes looking for it all. The ball falls incomplete, but look at his reaction. There is a flag on the play. They called defensive holding, so it's a fresh set of downs from the 11-yard line. Then a heads-up play from Jerick McKinnon. He goes down right before the goal line, so that way they can milk the clock, not give it back to Philly with too much time left. And with 8 ticks left, Butker drills this one from 27 yards out, and that's the game winner as Kansas City wins it 38-35.
I felt really good.
It's the best feeling in the world.
All right, we now bring in our Sean Cunningham. I think it's funny that Kelce said being on top of my brothers, but you just beat your actual brother.
Right.
But let's talk about the game. A great game, back and forth.
We're not doing Rihanna?
Stand by.
Okay.
Calm
All right, my
down.
bad. Sorry,
Calm down.
I came prepared.
I
That's
know.
good.
We'll talk about it. But the game, a fantastic game, back and forth, comes down to the wire, but not that finish wasn't deserving of how good that game was. Huh?
No, you kind of felt a little cheated in a way. Like if you're such a great game to see it end that way, to where they just run out the clock. But yeah, man, it was that type of game, and just the Chiefs are so impressive. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, they're calling him MVP Pat. Most valuable Patricks. I mean, that's weird, but I mean, just to see what they were able to do, to score in literally every possession in the second half, and then I don't know what a catch is anymore. I mean, I know there's so many controversies in this. I'm looking at all these catches, and I'm wrong every single time we go to review it. You're right, I'm wrong, but then we're looking at that holding call. James Bradbury said after the game, we didn't get to run it there, but he said, no, I held him. That's a hold. I grabbed his jersey. He admitted to it. He grabbed Juju Smith-Schuster, and that ended up being the game. So I think that helps some Philly fans, maybe not all, but some, maybe rest a little easier tonight.
All right, now let's talk about, I want you to see
that?
this sweatshirt. Sean's wearing it specifically. That's Rihanna's hand holding up an NFL football.
They know what it is, Chris.
I just want to make sure. I don't know a bigger Rihanna fan than you.
Yeah.
You were pumped about, your Twitter was blowing up with people talking, wanting your opinion of this halftime show. So just
Here we go.
I'm gonna. It's all you.
Oh, well, that was fantastic. I mean, first of all, look at that. Rihanna back on stage where she belongs. Look at those eyes, man. Incredible. So, I mean, look, just focus in. The cinematography here is fantastic. One of the greatest shows I've seen. Look, she didn't need a feature, didn't need Jay-Z, no Kanye West, no Eminem, no Chris Martin from Coldplay.
No Paul McCartney.
No ball. He was in the building.
He was there.
Plenty of lights, plenty of dancers, and she's hardly moving, and everyone's captivated on her. She was absolutely fantastic. Yeah, there's some background vocal there. Yeah, it's a pop show, but you definitely heard her, and she went out absolutely incredible. That was an iconic performance.
I enjoyed it. It was great. I was not as happy
Careful.
with all the lip syncing.
Careful.
But you addressed that already. But how about the big shocker? She's going to be a mom
Little
again.
baby bump there again.
Yeah,
That's a quick turnaround.
I know you're not too happy though, because that means she's probably she's probably not going to be going on tour.
Yeah, so selfishly, the Navy, the Rihanna Navy, like myself, will have to give it another 9 to 15 months and maybe hopefully not 6 years, but hopefully soon.
I didn't know you were a Navy. Now, let's
Yeah.
bring it all together. The NFL season is done. The Niners came up short. A lot of Niners connections in this game, but Kansas City, they're building a dynasty. This is 2 and 4 years for them. Patrick Mahomes, 2-time MVP. Like, are they the team to beat in the NFL?
We heard our reporter in Glendale talk about he's the new Tom Brady. Yeah, it certainly appears that way. You've already got 2 MVPs, and you look at he's only the 13th player really to quarterback to win 2 Super Bowls. So just really impressive. I feel like as Niner fans are looking at that game, go, man, what if? I mean, it all goes back to that NFC Championship game for me, and just seeing you talk about teams that feel cheated. I mean, you see those injuries for the Niners, but yeah, it was hard to watch that game and not picture San Francisco being in there.
All right, Sean, thank you so much. The NFL season coming to an end, but we're going to stick in Glendale or the greater Phoenix area. Coming up after the break, we're going to check in on the Phoenix Open, the biggest party in golf, and it did not disappoint today. Stick around.